So I'm going to give a tour here of my 2001 Boxster. Start with the interior. So I was just driving it a second ago, so this won't be a completely cold start, but just want to kind of give you a quick rundown of what's going on here. So yeah, 2001 Boxster. You can see the mileage right there, 128,852. I use the trip meter there for the oil change. Oil change was just done 47 miles ago. Mobil 1 full synthetic. The scan gauge is not going to be included in the sale, but I use it here as just addition to the gauge cluster. Let's see, let's just start it up really quick. Oh, on my key. So this is the original key, and this has the original transponder pill in this. This here specifically is a key from a 993, a key head from a 993, I want to say. It's a Porsche factory key head. It does have the little silly light on it. See? Basically, the factory key head I thought was kind of ugly, and the buttons were kind of worn down, so I replaced it with this, and with, excuse me, fumbling there, a Viper two-way keyless entry system. Now, this does not have remote start, and this does not have an aftermarket alarm. It has the factory alarm that this arms and disarms. So this controls the factory alarm. This is not an aftermarket alarm, but it is a two-way keyless entry system. So I can lock it and unlock, and you see you get feedback on the key. So if the alarm was to go off, the key is going to alert you. So pretty cool there. Quick tour of the center console here. So I relocated the factory 12-volt port to the left here. This is a blank on this model. I believe it's on the S models. This is the windshield wiper intermittent switch. Couple factory blanks here. Porsche stability management, keyless entry, rear defrost, and then top operation, and we'll get to that in a second. This is a, pull the cables out so you can see it, aftermarket USB port I installed that I think looks really close to, I mean, as close to a factory part as you can get. And I have it wired off this switch right here. So this goes direct to the battery. So I can switch it on, and you can see my phone is now charging. That is fused under the hood as well. So this switch here controls the, it is an override switch for the high-speed fans on the radiator. So if you're in traffic, the car's getting a little warm, you can switch that on, and it will bring the temperatures right down. That works really well. There is a aux port right here. That is currently disconnected. It's fairly easy to reconnect, but it's currently disconnected. I honestly never used it. Heater control panel right here. Heat and AC work perfect. The only thing that doesn't work, and I'll just show you, actually, we'll start up the car really quick. So on the heater control panel right here, you can see it looks like no air is coming through right now. You can see there's top vent, floor vent. This button here functions, it's just the light that doesn't work. So I have air coming out right now, it's just the light. It's just that individual light there died. To be honest, I leave that on 90% of the time, so it hasn't been a problem, but that doesn't work. Power windows, those both function. As I mentioned in the description, so here's the passenger window. I'm going to press this once, they're both automatic. You can hear it creaks just a little bit, but it does operate. So, it's wet because I just washed the car. That is the window regulator. It's basically that kind of frame that goes around the window. That is starting to creak and just needs to be replaced. So that's listed in the ad. Ashtray, and then heated seats. So there's a high and low feature, and then you press back to turn it off. So locking center console. So this is a, I guess you could call it, it's the first generation Boxster, but it's a 2001, so it's a like mid-generation refresh. There is no glove box. This is your glove box. This little console here. So function first, Delrin shift knob, so it's basically a hardened plastic. I love it. This is, I believe, the short throw arm on it right now. Or short throw lever. I do have the longer lever too that puts it just a little bit higher, and there is some adjustment you can do in there. This does have the B&M short shift kit installed. Yeah, what else? Oh, so onto the audio system. So right now, so I have a Kenwood. I'm going to turn the air off. Kenwood Kdcx 701 Bluetooth radio. This is Kenwood's flagship Bluetooth single DIN deck from a couple years back. CD player. Everything on this functions. There are 2 USB ports coming off the rear of here that I don't have wired. They're just tucked back there. I never used them. Bluetooth functions great, and the system sounds really good. I have Focal 6.5 coax speakers in the dash, and then those are the Access series, and then I have Focal 4-inch integration series, so I think it's 100 ICU or ISU is the model number. Focal 4-inch coax there on the dash. So 6.5-inch coax on the door, 6.5-inch coax on the dash. Those are cut and mounted into the factory speaker mounts, so they can be removed just like the factory speaker. Other than that, so the factory woofers that come in here are removed, and I have I want to say it's 1/2-inch ABS panel that fills in that hole, and that is dynamited and sealed around there. There is a bit of a leak in these doors. I think it's just from age. I've silicone sealed this and taken it apart before, but if the car sits out in the rain, I mean, I'm talking, I would get a couple drips if it sits outside in the rain consistently for a couple days. That was more of a problem when I lived in Washington. It doesn't rain like that here, so I've had 0 issues with leaking here. I've kept it covered like 99% of the time. I've had it parked under a covered spot. That right there is the transmitter or the receiver for the key fob for the alarm. Sorry, for the keyless entry. So there's a blue light that blinks when it's armed. I do have, so this mirror attaches over the factory mirror, and it's a extra wide view, so you can see really well there. And there are blind spot mirrors on both the side view mirrors there. Yeah. So let's do the top operation. So let me get this guy out of the way so you can see. Okay, so parking brake is on right now. I am going to both windows roll partially down. Hold this button. Holds down, and we're good. Let's do a quick walk around here. Let's go ahead and roll those windows all the way down. This does have the factory, it is a replacement top that was installed 5 years ago or so now. Original top was cut. These are Carrera 3 wheels off of a 997 factory Porsche wheels. I need to finish cleaning those up. 18x10 rear with, I believe, an 18 millimeter spacer, and these are a 18x8 front with a 15 millimeter spacer. ECS spacers, ECS extended length bolts going through there, or wheel bolts going through there as well. Bridgestone RE980 AS tires. These are their high performance all season tires. And let's see, so date code on the fronts is 2018. And tread life, let's get a good look at that there. Still pretty proper. I don't have a penny with me to measure that. 225, 40, 18 fronts. These are an MS rated tire. I would not, drive these in the mud or anything like that. But that's what's going on there. I do have replacement. These are generic, but replacement Porsche hubcaps, center caps. Rears were also RE980 AS's. And where's my date code? These are very recent on the rears. There we go. 4420. So 2018 up front, 2020 in the rear. Again, 18x10. factory offset of 58 with 18 millimeter spacer. This is the full top speed Pro top speed auto exhaust. I mean, it sounds great, and there's more details on that in the description. Now there is a dent right here. This car has been, it was professionally detailed. I want to say it was about 2 years ago now. There was a scratch on that dent that was removed, but basically 2 owners ago, 2x4 came and bumped into her. So that could easily be removed by like via paintless dent removal. This panel here, so this little cover here popped off at some point, and you can see this panel here pops up a little bit. It must have, I don't know when this happened exactly, but the little retainer clip snapped right there. So I don't think you would need an entire replacement cowl piece. What you could do is basically pull this off, re-glue that, or reattach that and then push the panel back down. It's purely cosmetic, but that is there. Front bumper definitely has a pretty good amount of rock chips. I mean, just from driving. Front license plate holder is removed. I do have that. Bumper's not too difficult to get off this, so easy way to fix that would be just like a wrap or repainting the front bumper. Headlights, I did do a full like headlight restoration on them not too long ago. So these are the original headlights as far as I'm aware, but they do look pretty good for the age. Yeah. Let's jump back in here really quick. All right. Put my scan gauge back. Get a quick driving video now. I'm going to set up the camera here. All right, driving my Boxster. She's all warmed up. I'm at 186 degrees Fahrenheit on the coolant and 91 degrees on my intake air temp. It is about 70-ish out right now. Let's give her a little drive. So I just switched on right here. This is the switch for the 12-volt dual USB port right there. Front end is a bit low, so you got to be careful going down a really steep driveways, but it really hasn't been bad. Five-speed manual, factory, of course. It's got to go by. You can probably see on the dash the turn signal issue. Again, I've got a video on that linked in the description of the ad, and that's a better way than I could explain it. So. It is a catless exhaust, but to be honest, the exhaust drone really isn't bad. Driving with a top up, highway speeds are very comfortable. Probably do a bit of that here in the video. I have the auxiliary fans off. Honestly, in this weather, it's totally not needed. I really only need to switch these, not auxiliary fans, the factory fans. I only really need to run that override when I'm in like heavy traffic and it's really hot out, you know, any typical driving, it's just fine. Sorry, I keep checking the camera. The mount isn't the most secure, and I want to make sure the camera doesn't fall over. Kind of thinking out loud here. So the gas mileage in this car is pretty good. I run premium only in it, 91 here, 93 back home. And I'm going to put the windows up just for noise, for wind. I typically get, honestly, around the city, you almost get up to 20. It really depends on how you're driving and how aggressively. Straight highway, you can get up to 30. I've driven this car on long distance runs before and gotten 30 miles per gallon, so pretty good. Fifth gear is a great highway gear. Sorry, my big tripod here is a little rattly. As long as I have owned the car, which again has been since 2016, it's been in my family since 2015. As long as I have owned it, I have used Mobil 1 full synthetic. So it's pretty religious on those oil changes, about every 5,000. I'm at 193 degrees on the water temp right now. Try to get on a straightaway here and give it a bit of a pull. I think that's a Suburban 2500 right there. Probably has the whatever 8-liter. Let's see, maybe if everyone turns. Nope, I'm gonna stay in line. There's kind of more traffic than I expected. Let's see if I can get a little straightaway run here. Again, you can see on the dash, turn signals are acting a little funny. It's explained in that other video. Easier just to reference that. Those cup holders work. This one gets a little bit of an attitude. They're not great cup holders, but they're the original ones, so, you know, blame Porsche for that. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Hey, Miata. Nice. Gets a little warm in the stop and go, 207 right now, so we're going to switch on that high-powered front fans and let those go to work. Looks like my camera turned a little bit. Beautiful Corvette. So, we're stopped in traffic right now. So, ooh, man, that thing sounds nasty. Like in a good way. Oh, it's a Z06. Gorgeous. He's about to rip it. Nice. It's a C5 Z06. Water temps come down to 202 as we're sitting here, 200 now. So again, those factory Porsche fans work really well in cooling the car down when you're in more stop and go. It's probably cooler than it needs to run, or I'm probably being overcautious here, but 198. And we're already down to 193 degrees on the coolant temp. Go ahead and switch those off for now. All right, that is driving my Boxster. Go ahead and get some more pictures over here. But yeah, that's it. Go ahead and shut her down.